that is patently false. Although certainly IOM statistics will show that the majority of people we've assisted have been women and girls trafficked for sexual exploitation. The reality is that boys and men are also subject to exploitation sexually, not only in this region but other regions of the world.
Because of the lack of awareness and understanding that boys can also be sexually abused, sexually exploited, people aren't taking enough actions and measures to actually protect their sons, their boys in their communities, and not enough measures in terms of preventing and responding to trafficking of boys for sexual exploitation.
Our data usually only tells one side of the story. Boys are often made invisible due to these kind of regressive assumptions about gender, which reinforce the idea that males are perpetrators and all females are victims.
ในสถานการณ์ปัจจุบันเนี่ยก็จะพบว่าไม่ได้เกิดขึ้นเฉพาะกับผู้หญิงและเด็กผู้หญิงเพียงอย่างเดียวนะคะเพราะว่าในปัจจุบันก็จะมีลูกค้านะคะที่เป็นชายจากหลากหลายเลยแล้วก็บางทีก็จะมีรสนิยมที่ชอบนอนกับเด็กผู้ชายด้วยนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นตรงนี้เนี่ยก็จะมีเด็กที่บางครั้งก็เป็นเด็กเร่ร่อนเด็กที่ออกมาทำงานในที่ต่างๆนะคะแล้วก็เด็กข้างถนนต่างๆเนี่ยก็มีการไปชักชวนเด็กเหล่านี้เนี่ยนะคะเข้ามาสู่วงจรการบังคับค้าบริการทางเพศ
There's so much stigma and shame attached to men who are exploited for sex. We had one victim in particular that I remember, and it took him at least 3 months to tell us what happened. We found one shelter who was able to take him in. The shelter was a shelter for women, and they said, you know what, we've never had a man, but we're willing to give it a try because he has nowhere to go.
Because of this myth that girls are that it's only girls that are vulnerable to trafficking for sexual exploitation, we have found that boys are at higher risk of trafficking for sexual exploitation. We'll go that far to say boys are at higher risk of trafficking for sexual exploitation because it's a blind spot.
The recent study in the Philippines, the VAC, Violence Against Children study that was just released last year in the Philippines, this is a general survey of a population survey in the Philippines shows 28% of males indicating sexual violence before the age of 18 in comparison to 21% of females. Now, both of those numbers should shock anyone. Both of those numbers are reason for concern. But there is significantly higher disclosure among males in a lot of these figures.
So we need to stop looking at that myth, and we need to stop looking at women and girls as victims only, as weak, as those who need help, because we have half of the population who are men and boys, and they're being sexually abused, exploited, and sold, especially in foreign sex tourism in places like Pattaya. And we also need to have research in those places so we can build a whole network of resources to support these men and boys who also need and deserve help.